Hi guys, as requested, I'm gonna be reviewing a video called Alert! Carnivore potato chips just became reality.
This recipe is epic. This might be one of the most inventive, incredible things that I have ever done for the carnivore world. You guys are gonna wanna stick around for this one because this has been a request for going on 2 years on my channel, and I have been working on it to finally get it right. Today, potato chips, Chris cooking Nashville style.
2 years of a fake carnivore trying to create potato chips because he craves carbohydrates. Should be great.
So to make these carnivore potato chips, that sounds absolutely insane to say. I know, but it's real. To make these carnivore potato chips, we're going to need a few very simple things. Now, this is based off of this concept of cottage cheese chips. I like some of those cottage cheese chip recipes. I've tried them, but there's a couple of things I wasn't a big fan of when I was looking at these recipes. Number one, the texture just didn't quite get there for me. Number two,
the texture, this is no different than the vegans who create meat out of jackfruit, for example. They also look for the texture. It has to be like meat. In this case, it has to be like chips. And the only reason he craves chips is because he craves carbohydrates. It's just what his body knows as carbohydrates. Not that it's a good source, obviously. It's just starch cooked in vegetable oils, usually, with some kind of drugs, salt, sugar, whatever kind of additives to give it some kind of a taste.
A lot of them are made in the microwave, which means you have to make them in very small batches. And let's be honest, if you have a great tasting potato chip, you don't want to eat just one. You probably don't even want to eat 10. You want to eat the whole bowl. So not that I'm going to promote that we eat as many of these as we can possibly fit inside of ourselves, but it does make it helpful with a snack food like this to be able to make it in larger batches. The last thing was I wasn't a huge fan of the flavor of just the cottage cheese by itself, and I noticed most of them use a thickener like xanthan gum, which isn't something that I wanted to use. So I'm going to show you my version to make these carnivore, or keto or ketovore if you want to season them certain ways.
Keto war, all of these terms that they came up with. Some years ago, there was only keto. Then the carnivores came, the fake carnivores with their only cooked meat diet. And now you have keto war and who knows what. I don't even keep up with these stupid terms anymore.
So this is the texture we are looking for. We want a thick paste that is still soft.
He put in cheese, cottage cheese, 1 egg, then beef gelatin, egg white powder, and baking soda. Cool. Very carnivore.
Cover them up with parchment paper, wrap a cookie sheet, and turn them into chips.
He squeezes on some kind of slime with cheese and gelatin, and then tries to imitate chips the same way vegans try to imitate meat. Because both the vegans and the fake carnivores don't eat what they actually naturally want to eat, which is why they try to imitate it. Not that potato chips are natural, obviously, but they want the carbohydrates, but they restrict themselves the same way vegans restrict themselves from eating meat. That's what I mean.
Now that these are out of the oven and they are cooled, we can very carefully begin to peel back our top layer of parchment paper. You can see we have these beautifully...
All of this insane work also. Not saying that you should go to a store and buy potato chips, because I don't recommend eating them in general, especially with some kind of sunflower oil, but fuck, it's obvious that you just want potato chips. Eat some kind of carbohydrates, then the cravings for the potato chips will also go away. But if you have to go through all of this crazy work, hours of work just to imitate potato chips, then I would suggest just buying potato chips.
Thin, cheese-based carnivore chips. I'm going to trim off the ends and then...
There's no such thing as carnivore chips. Carnivore by definition means an animal that eats at least 20% raw meat. It has nothing to do with your stupid diet, man. You guys are just as mental as the vegans. You guys are totally nuts. What the fuck are you doing here?
Our chips have been in the dehydrator for a little over an hour. I think they should be done. This is going to vary depending on how thick your chips are and what the humidity is like wherever.
Think about it, trying to recreate potato chips for hours, just to then think, oh, I am eating carnivore, that's okay. These kind of chips I can eat. Are you totally mental, if that's your mentality?
You live. But I think ours are done. Let's go grab them. Let's pull them out. We're going to cool them to room temperature, and then I'm going to show you that secret seasoning we're going to use to make them amazing. And now for the secret seasoning.
And he also films it from all of the sides, because he's so obsessed with carbohydrates. The same way vegans make their fake pork ribs, their fake steaks, and then they film them with this lighting from all sides, with the music. All that he needs to do is dance a little bit after eating them. That will be the cherry on top.
Seasoning that I have been promising you. I took 1 cup of sour cream. I stuck it in the dehydrator for about 5 or 6 hours, dehydrated it until it was completely dry, spread across a mat. I ground that up into a powder.
But looks kind of dry as his skin, no? Maybe it's caused by something else, but it looks insanely red here. Maybe it's because of all these strange ingredients that he's trying out.
If you're more into like a kettle-cooked, thick-cut potato chip, just don't squish them down as far, and they'll be a little bit smaller around and a little bit thicker. They'll take a little bit longer in the dehydrator, but they're still just as good. You ready to give these a try?
Yeah, I've never even had the experiment, I don't think, of these.
This is all just about tastes and about imitating what you really want to eat, which again, in this case, are not really potato chips. It's really just carbohydrates that he craves.
So I'm excited. For starters, these look just like potato chips.
Yes, they do.
Really tripping my mind out because they definitely look just like the real thing. So, crunch? Oh, wow. Get out of here. No way. Hold on. I'm speechless. It's tripping my mind up. I know that these are not potato chips. These actually taste like the real deal, literal potato chips that I remember eating growing up. I love the sour cream and onion vibe. That was one of my favorites. I, on a standard American diet, could eat a whole bag of those and not even think twice. I love how thin they are.
Maybe these are even healthier than regular potato chips. That's possible, but think about what you're doing. You prepare them for hours, you cook them just to imitate what you really want to eat. It's because you're on a restrictive diet, the same way the vegans make these recipes. It's exactly the same. There's just no difference because both are restricting themselves. It's just a fake diet. There's no such thing as a cooked carnivore diet in nature, some animal that only eats cooked meat. And there's also no veganism in nature. All of you guys are fake.
How crispy. The seasoning, of course, is great. I also feel like I could eat these plain and they would just taste like a normal potato chip. I mean,
you can season these however you want. You don't have to season them at all. What I would probably do if I do these again is sour cream and onion. I would make the sour cream seasoning way ahead of time. I would sprinkle this over the chips before they go into the dehydrator and it would stick a little bit better. I just wasn't able to get the sour cream seasoning dehydrated and made soon enough to be able to put on the chips when they went into the dehydrator. Otherwise, I think this is exactly what I would do the next time. But if you're not into the sour cream and onion vibe, you can make this however you want, use any seasonings you want. You could just take plain salt, grind it in a mortar and pestle into like a fine powdered salt, because a fine salt is what they would use to season something like this. Sprinkle it over the chips.
If you're really obsessed with salt, then you're probably mineral deficient.
Right before they go in the dehydrator or the oven if you dry them out that way.
I am seriously so impressed by this. This is blowing my mind. This may be one of the greatest carnivore recipes that you have ever created. It does not in any way taste like something that it should not.
How is it a carnivore recipe? I know what they mean. They probably mean low carb. Still, it's just really misleading to use the word carnivore when talking about fake potato chips. What does it have to do with actual carnivores? These people just took over this term and completely misuse it now.
It doesn't taste like egg. It doesn't taste like cheese. It doesn't taste like anything other than an actual potato chip.
Well, guys, you can have carnivore potato chips now, and this rounds out a lot of things.
Yeah, but why would anybody make them? Then it means that you're on a restrictive diet. Then stop your stupid diet, firstly. Start eating real food, start eating raw meat, eat organs, drink blood, and then you won't be thinking about recreating potato chips. You're clearly malnourished if that's the case.
Carnivore white bread, and you do like a deli style sandwich, and then you can have potato chips.
Yeah, bread, steak and butter girl also recreated bread, carnivore bread. All of these people are nuts.
Chips with the side of it. Like, that's something that a lot of people have done, and you can do that now completely carnivore, or at the very least ketovore easily, and you can have potato chips to go along with it. Like a road trip snack would be awesome to have these. You had a big bag of these in the car.
Oh, definitely.
These are going to be great for kids.
I could even somewhat understand if you want to lose weight that you do that because your body is just super toxic and you have these super strange cravings, and then instead you make these carnivore chips. But I think that this guy has been doing this diet for ages and he still looks like he's somewhat overweight. Probably because he makes all of these recipes. This is the guy's channel. Okay, he has been posting videos for maybe a year now. Not 2 years, over a year. Would weight loss really take that long? Is there even a significant difference that you can see? Wait, what is this carnivore white rice? Oh my god, man. I can't believe what I'm seeing. I didn't know that it would get that bad. Oh, that's how he got popular. That was one of his first popular videos. Does he really look different? Yeah, maybe he had a bit more weight back then. But still, you should be on this kind of a diet for a few months maximum. You should already lose all of the weight. The reason it's going so super slow is because he keeps creating these recipes.
Carnivore rice with Chris Cook in Nashville. You can get in a container. No problem.
These people are crazy.
Like cubed tofu or something like that when you get done.
So some kind of cheese, I guess?
Like rice, in case anything is stickable.
And why on earth would you want to recreate seeds? I can understand the potato chips, totally. The seeds, not whatsoever.
We're going to repeat the same. Eat all of these chewier. Now, it looks a lot like white rice. It acts a lot like white rice. It doesn't really have too much flavor. We've basically gelatin that is going on this rice is what's going to help this taste like. But that right there, folks, is completely zero carb, clean carnivore egg white rice.
Egg white rice. Oh my god, man, these people are so crazy. They all don't get it. They probably talk about the vegans like they are nuts when they recreate meat, not realizing that they are almost even worse, because vegans at least make meat. You naturally crave meat. These guys just restrict themselves, don't eat any carbs, and then obsess over carbs, recreate bread, potato chips, and rice. Oh my god, man. Nah, this is just not a normal community. This community is totally nuts. I think that they're more insane than the vegans. As I said, I can understand if you're on a weight loss journey, you want to lose, let's say 20 kilograms, you go on this fake carnivore diet because you've probably never heard about eating raw meat, and even if, then you probably just don't want to do it because it's too strange to you. And then you go on this diet, you crave some carbohydrates, and then you create fake potato chips for these few months just to lose the weight, and then you're done with it. But this guy has been doing it for over a year. There's other people, Steak and Butter Girl, who's been eating a carnivore diet for over 5 years or something, and she still creates fake bread. Why does she still do it then? She's thin as hell. She looks underweight. Her skin looks pretty good if she doesn't use makeup. Let's just give her the benefit of the doubt and say that she doesn't. That's all cool, but she also doesn't have children, had fertility issues. It's just an absolute nightmare with these people. It doesn't matter if you go vegan, you go on this fake carnivore diet, they just don't get it, that they should eat what they want to eat. Simply eat raw meat, eat organs, ideally if you can, drink blood, if you can get it somewhere, if you can slaughter your own animals. You're going to be super nourished, you're going to feel not only happy but actually euphoric a lot of the days. every day, but sometimes, of course, you will have these highs, especially after you consume liver, brain, blood, and you will just feel super great. You won't have any cravings, because what are cravings? Cravings are your body craving certain nutrients. In this case, it's actually really just carbohydrates, because that's all that you get out of potato chips. It's total garbage, and it's actually poisonous when it's made with seed oils, which is why I said these may be possibly healthier. It's still garbage, of course. And then when you're well nourished, you're not gonna crave some random weird stuff. The vegans crave the meat because plants don't have over 15 micronutrients. Obviously, they crave meat for a reason. They're malnourished as hell. And then, of course, these fake carnivores mostly crave carbohydrates, because a zero-carb diet also doesn't exist in nature. Even the animals that you would eat freshly would have some kind of carbohydrates, especially in the liver. And you would eat fruits now and then. You would even eat honey if you would get your hands on it. Even if it's only periodically, yeah, some cold climates are not going to have a lot of fruit, but still, in summer, you will eat some berries at the very least. And again, the animals would have some sugar. You're just not going to go without sugar at all. That's why you go completely nuts on this fake carnivore diet. When you do totally zero carb. I don't know what keto war is. I don't even want to know. Don't even tell me about it. I know what keto is. I don't care about any of these weird new terms. To me, it's all a mental illness. Vegan, raw vegan, fruitarian, they also came up with many, many terms and strange diets. It's the same thing. It's all the same. It's all about restricting yourself. Your body is asking you for something, but you don't eat it. And again, I can somewhat understand if you want to lose weight, just for a few months. But if you do it for years, and you still obsess over bread, potato chips, and then you recreate it, then there's something wrong with you. Come on, just wake up. Thanks for watching.